Hello, my friends. Hello, it's Matthew Street, and welcome to my channel. As always, I truly appreciate you being here, folks. It's been a little while since I've done a straightforward video like this. I think my last one was a little silly, but that's okay, right? A little silliness never hurt anybody. Anyway, folks, I want to do a review video for you. And folks, I'm a little late to the party here. This album's been out for a little while now, not too long. But it's an important one. It's Beatles related. I think it's something you may be interested in. So here goes. I have some notes here, so don't mind if I read from some notes so I can remember things. But folks, I finally picked up the brand new, I believe it's his 7th studio album by Julian Lennon called Jude. And there's the cover with an early picture of Julian back during his childhood. Now, any of you Beatle fans out there, you know the connection with the name Jude and Julian. It goes back to Paul McCartney writing the tune, famous tune by the Beatles, Hey Jude, where he was crying out to Julian. He just changed it from Hey Julian or Hey Jules to Hey Jude, to be a little bit more vague. Because Julian was going through a tough time then. His parents had split and were going through a divorce. John was now with Yoko. It was a whole mess, as you know. And this poor kid went through hell. To be honest, he went through, I'm sure, a tough time as any child when parents split up or are not together any longer or divorce situations. No matter how you slice it, it's not fun and it doesn't turn out good for certainly the child involved. So anyway, Julian took that concept of him being Jude from the song Hey Jude and made his album title Jude. 2022 new release. Here's the back cover with all the song titles. And here's the inside, a current picture of Julian lying on a couch with his guitar by his side with a window, very pensive. Nice photo of Julian on the inside. Okay, now, let me also show you what the vinyl looks like first before I go through my notes. It's kind of a unique label on the vinyl record of the cover, Jude, with the picture. All right, put that over here. And the inside sleeve is kind of a pretty tough material. It's not soft paper. It has all the lyrics and all the credits. Julian co-produced this album with his longtime collaborator Justin Clayton. They've been working together for years and years now. I don't want to read all the names now. I don't want to take too much in this video, but he's got a big cast of people that helped recorded this album with him, that helped. So Julian is a co-songwriter on every song. There's 11 tracks on the album, and he has a cornucopia of assistant or co-songwriters on each of the tracks. Now, Julian is 59 years old now. He'll be 60 coming up next year. And I have to say, he still sounds great. He's playing great. The people on this album play great. It's produced, as I said, by Julian and Justin Clayton. And he thanks many people on this album, but 3 of the highlights I should mention is he does mention Uncle Paul McCartney. He mentions his brother Sean, and he dedicates the album to his mom Cynthia, which I thought was very nice. I don't believe I saw any mention of his dad on here, but maybe I missed it, but I didn't see it. So anyway, we got 11 tracks here. Now, let me say about Julian. Julian's career has been funny for me. If you know the style of music I like, and I'm a rock and roll power pop guy, I like Julian's music. I have most of his material. I believe he has 7 studio albums. Let me get them all right here. His first one that broke out of the box and did very well for him with top 40 hits on it was Velat in 1984. He followed that up with Secret Value of Daydreaming in 1986, which didn't do as well, but had a couple of minor hits on it. He then went to, and I have those first 2. I don't have the third one, which came out in 1989, that's called Mr. Jordan. By then I had lost kind of interest in Julian's career after Secret Value of Daydreaming. I didn't buy Mr. Jordan. 1989, I don't believe it had any hits. However, I did bounce back in 1991, and I bought Help Yourself, his next studio album, which I enjoyed. I thought there was a lot of good material on there. He then came out with an album that I really love and enjoy called Photograph Smile in 1998. And then he went a long period of time without an album. And then in 2011, he put out Everything Changes, which I do not have. Again, losing just, not that I dislike Julian, just lost interest in keeping up with every release he put out. So I don't have Everything Changes from 2011. However, here we are 11 years later, and he comes out with Jude 2022. So, as I said, I'm not an expert on every one of Julian's solo albums because his albums, I don't have them all. I'm missing Mr. Jordan, I'm missing Everything Changes out of the 7, and I just got Jude. Let me just say about this album. Let's focus on this album now, the Jude album, which is very interesting to me because of the black and white motif of the design, the early picture of Julian from that era of the late 60s, the title being Jude. I think my expectations were going into this were high on this album, maybe a little too high. Maybe I got a little ahead of myself because overall it's a well-produced album. Very well done. I mean, putting it all together, the musicianship, it's well played. The instrumentation on this, as I said, the musicianship is excellent. Julian sounds great singing. The soundscape is relaxing, very pleasurable as you sit back and listen to this album. Kind of a mellowish type feeling, but somewhat subdued, if that makes any sense. But a very well done subdued. Okay, so if you're into mellow, if you're into subdued, relaxing, chill, then this album may be for you. Okay, but my big problem with Julian has always been on many of the albums I have of his is that with little highlights here and there. But for the most part, my big problem with this album is that I want to see Julian let loose more. I want to see him just open up more on an album and just, retain that emotional workout that he's trying to put forward with the lyrics. I mean, these lyrics, and I'll go through the songs real quick with you, very emotional, he's working out feelings. He's working through his emotions, the past, the present, and the future. But I just wish he would shout it out more. I just wish he would rock out a bit and just let it fly, and stop being so subdued, so chill all the time, Julian. Let it go, okay? Rock out a bit, because I don't think you're going to find a rocker anywhere on Jude, okay? Not that that's a bad thing. I'm talking about this album in a positive light. I think it's a good album, a well-done album. But you're not going to find any rock and roll on this album, folks. It never gets too excited, but it's not a total dark dirge, if that makes any sense. He doesn't just wallow in the dregs all the time. He just kind of flatlines on this album. It's never too high, never too low. If you picture a flat line, that's kind of this album, It gets a little mellow, then it may come up a little bit, then it gets level again, and then it may come up a little hair, moderate, mid-tempo rock, back down again, a little low ballad, then up again. There's no highs on this album where he's really letting it go loose, and there's no real bad lows where I would call it a snooze fest where you want to fall asleep. It's somewhere in the middle, and it just kind of stays like that, the whole album. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. There's a lot of us who like, and I do enjoy, mellow, laid-back kind of music all the time. But I'm sorry, with Julian's pedigree and who he is and what his capabilities are as a songwriter and a singer and a musician, I think he should rock out more and let loose more. And if he wants to get those feelings out there, let him fly. Let him out once in a while. Don't be afraid to play some power chords and turn up the distortion a little bit on your guitar and let it wail. Do it once in a while. Sometimes you need that with some of these emotional highs and lows that he's faced during his life. So real quick, folks, that's kind of my overall on this album. It's okay. It's an okay album. All right, if you're in the mood to kind of turn the lights down low and be with your significant other and have a glass of wine or a nice beverage and chill, this is a good album for that, okay? First song is Save. I'm just going to go quick through the song. Save Me. It starts with a slow kind of piano ballad, then it intensifies a little bit and builds, but no more than a mid-tempo kind of song, darker lyrics, darker mood, okay? Next song, Freedom, slower start, all right? It's a slower song. It's a very mood-inducing track. A lot of emotions and feelings coming out of Julian again, but in a very subdued manner. Now, the only really kind of faster paced song on this entire album is the third track, Every Little Moment. And it's probably one of my favorites on the album. It's got a good it's not all an out rock and roll. It's kind of got an R&B groove to it with really nice guitar work and a good guitar solo on it. And it's it's the fastest paced song on the album. But again, it's not up here faster paced. It's kind of, like I said, maybe a little above that mid flat line area. But it's good. Faster paced, Every Little Moment. I like it a lot. My next favorite song on the album, against Every Little Moment, which is one of my favorites, is the next one, Not One Night. Beautiful song. I love this track. Very acoustic. It's strings based. It's a ballad, but it's a very well done ballad. Nice track. Awesome track. It's about finally being at peace with himself, I believe, and accepting the loss of his mom and perhaps both parents as well. But Not One Night is a beautiful track. I love it. Those are my two favorites. Every Little Moment and Not One Night. There you go. There's Matt Street's two favorites. Next one is Love Don't Let Me Down. Again, slower song again. Nice groove, though. It's a love song, but it's slower paced. Round and Round Again. Again, slower song. He's working through the sadness and his tears. Very emotional, all right? End of side one. Now to side two. Love Never Dies. Slow again. A piano ballad start. I look at it as maybe an ode to his mother, possibly his dad, but definitely his mom. It's about losing someone, how their presence and their love remains with you in spirit even after they're gone. Breathe. Slow. Piano ballad. Picks up a little bit to a slow R&B groove. It's very reflective, kind of a downer song, redemption, turning negatives into positives. Lucky Ones, kind of mid-tempo, a little bit above that flat line. Mid-tempo, a little bit punchier song. Not out-and-out rock. It's kind of a mellowish tune that never quite lets loose. Cool bass line in it, though, little piano intro in it. Basically, it's saying the world sucks, so let's be the ones to make the world better. You know, a new revolution is knocking at my door, and let's make the world better. All right. The next one, Stay, has a piano intro because it's a slower tune. Again, I keep saying slower, but that's what it is. Lyrics like, you're so far away, don't go, please stay. We're trapped between a landslide and a hole in the ground. Kind of dirge-like, but it's well produced. The outro picks up briefly, but then we go back to that slow, dirgy R&B kind of sound. And then the last song is called Gaia, or Gaia, G-A-I-A, Gaia, featuring Paul Buchanan and Alyssa Lauper. Has a spoken word intro with piano, string arrangement, very slow song, a love song. Life brightens you up in your darkest days. It's a love song. It's an intense love song, but it's very laid back, very chill, okay? So that's it, folks. That's the album. And the one nice thing, the reason I got vinyl this time and not CD is because at Julian's site, if you got the vinyl, a special order vinyl, not only did you get the album, but you got a lithograph with Julian's signature on it, which I thought was a nice touch. And Julian doesn't tour much, so I don't have his autograph, or I don't think I'll have the chance to see him live. He doesn't come around much. So this was a chance to get his autograph, have it framed, and hang it up. So nice touch, Julian, offering this lithograph when you bought the album at his site. That's why I got it. So that's it, folks. That's my review of Julian Lennon's latest 7th studio album, Jude. It's a good album. It's well put together, well performed, well sung, well written, but it's not lighting the world on fire with its with its pace, okay? Albeit one song that's kind of mid-tempo, snappy, faster-paced, every little moment. The rest of it's kind of chill, okay? So if that's for you, if that's something you'd like to check out, I'm going to recommend the album. You know, it is a good, laid-back, chill album, but I just wish Julian would rock out more. I wish he would just let it fly. Pick up that guitar and let it strum, baby. Pluck that 12-string, pluck that 6-string, whatever, Julian. Go for it. That's it, folks. Hope you enjoyed my little review of Jude by Julian Lennon. And I'll talk to you soon. I've got more stuff coming up. Thank you again. Love you.